Every time I say I want to get married before I have children, I want to become a wife before I give birth, it's always some random female that's going to come out the woodwork side-eyeing me and projecting saying like, oh, well, you getting married doesn't guarantee you won't become a single mom because happens, you could get a divorce. And you know what? You're right, we could get a divorce. I can't determine the outcome of the situation, but I can for damn sure determine how I go into a situation. And I'm choosing to go into that situation a wife. And whether y'all want to admit it or not, that little piece of paper does indeed hold weight. It potentially guarantees security for not only me but my child should something like that happen. You choosing to have a baby by a sneaky link does not. Second of all, black women literally have the highest rate of mortality during childbirth. Do y'all honestly think I'm gonna go into that friend that's not my husband? Be for real.
Somebody tagged me in this video and it was like, oh my God, Sansa tries to preach to women to have babies without getting married. I'm like, that ain't even close to what my message is. You tried it though, with your trolling. You did try it. My message is as follows. Marry before you carry does not guarantee that a man is gonna stay with you. Men get divorced. Men cheat. Women get divorced. One thing you need to do as a woman is make sure that you have your bread together in the event that you have to raise children alone. That's my point. And marriage is business. It's a contract. That has nothing to do with love. You can love the fuck out of somebody, but at the end of the day, a contract that affects your taxes and your income, oh, that's business. And if I wanted to just have a business, I would just start an LLC. Am I telling women to go out here and have babies out of wedlock? Nah, but it happens. I was engaged to my son's father, yet here I am. He ain't got no other kids. He out here telling the world that I was his mistress, lying to people. Oh, she had a baby by a married man. And everybody pounding down on me. Meanwhile, this dude somewhere hiding with another chick. Not me, not his ex-wife, not taking care of his kids, no responsibility whatsoever. And that contract that he signed with another woman before he met me did not stop him from beating me and having a baby. So I'm just trying to tell you ladies, you sign a contract or not, selective mating is what you should be doing. Don't pick a man simply because you think if you have a baby with him, the baby gonna be cute. You have to factor in who these men are psychologically, intellectually. Their DNA passes down, not just their physical appearance, but what they doing up in here. So look at the man that you're dating. Look at the man that you want to marry. Ask yourself, how does he treat women and children? Think about this beforehand. Practice celibacy. That's my message.
Okay, first of all. She said her name Sansa. I did not know that. I was calling her Sonacray for the longest time. But first thing I want to say is let's talk about the initial video, right? And we're going to sum it all up together. First of all, a lot of women who skipped on the marry before you carry message, a lot of women that had children prior to being married, they kind of act the same exact way as the women who, quote unquote, before the wall had some options, and then they get a little older and then they get mad when a man says that they want to be with a younger woman. They act the same exact way. Okay. The problem is they don't have a redo button, and they have something in their mind that's like, oh man, I should have thought about that. And because they didn't have the opportunity to change that situation and they're already in it, they try to make people who are warning other people on, getting into, relationships or having children without being married. They try to stop that whole message. They're like, well, you can't prevent this. And well, marriage can't make him stay. And, well, you can't, you don't know if he's going to be with you. You don't know if this. They try to make all of these excuses. Okay. And at the end of the day, what the first woman in the video was saying is extremely valid. Maybe you don't know what the outcome is going to be. Maybe you don't know if the relationship is not going to work out. Maybe you don't know if the marriage is going to be long lasting. But the fact that you have a strong commitment with this person, right? They decided something about you was fantastic enough that they decided to sign that contract that Sansa says, attaches finances and business. They thought of you highly enough that before you had their child, they wanted to show their level of commitment towards you. Why would you not, as a woman, why would you not want to wait for that to try to solidify a little bit more security before just giving your body and having a child with somebody? What's the problem? It makes sense to me. That would break down a whole bunch of this baby mama culture that y'all so, glorify. Makes a lot of sense. A lot of you are like, oh, I would never marry that kind of guy. Oh, I would never want to be with him for the rest of my life. But you have a baby by him. He all this and all that, and you can't stand him, and he this and he dusty and he all of that. But you will have a baby with him. And talk about I would never want to marry somebody like that. I would never want to be with somebody like that for the rest of my life. But for that child's rest of their life, that's their father. Let's just keep it real. And some of y'all be acting like, you the glorified parent just because you the woman. Let's not even get into that. Because some of y'all the ones, y'all complaining about the daddy, but you the one that's dusty. Let's just be real. I'm just being honest. Marry before you carry is important, okay? It is an important message. It's important. Things have happened. If people have already missed that mark or they already had children before that, and Sansaray like to say, oh, I was engaged, but you were not married. Okay, that contract was not signed prior to you getting pregnant and having a child. It's not the same thing. Almost married, kind of married, dating, engagement, it's not the same thing. Now, if you want to talk about two people just being in a relationship with each other, minus any children, right? And, they're not sure if they want to get married or, they have a spiritual connection with each other and they're comfortable in the space that they're in. If whatever it is that does not involve an outside source, AKA a child, that's a whole different ballgame. But you see, once you're bringing a life into the world, there's a lot of things, a lot of logistics that come in that are technically, quote unquote, solidified when you do have a child and you sign that contract. It ain't just walking away and we figuring it out willy-nilly. No, there's things that come in place to protect both parties. Now we need to figure out if there's going to be visitation. We need to figure out if there's going to be 50-50, if this parent is going to have it at this time and this parent. There's certain things that will automatically come into play for protection of not only the parents, but also the well-being of the child, so that it is not a tug of war based off of how one parent feels about the other. It's important. Saying like, oh, well, it don't matter. It don't mean he gonna stay with you just because but it means that he was committed to me. It means that he had a strong level of commitment with me. Again, a lot of these women who did it a different way, what they need to say is, you know what? Y'all should listen to that because these young women are right. Or they have more tools, or, they have a certain level of knowledge that maybe we didn't have back in the day, or I didn't have, or whatever. And it's good to learn from this, and this is the right way. No, you want to go against that way of thinking. So you say you love women, you say you want to give advice to women, you say you care about women so much. So why are you not siding with a woman who is saying, protect yourself, protect your child? Listen, okay? For a man, regardless, there's going to be some liabilities. If you get married, if you have a child, whatever it is. Just keeping it real. I'm just being honest. A lot of men are stepping away from marriage, don't know if they want to get married because there's a whole bunch of stuff that ties in, and it always ends up that they end up getting the short end of the stick. Let's just be real. But as a woman, and for men too, as a man, it is important to solidify the connection that you want to have with somebody before giving somebody your seed. It's very, very vital. So you don't have the baby mama drama either. You don't got to worry about this one carrying you and this one carrying you and this problem, because you're responsible over your seed. Very important. Very important. One thing that Sansaray said, it's so weird calling her that because I was calling her Sonocrat. I thought that's what her name was. But it's one thing that she said that I do have to agree with. Okay? Because there's a lot, and I don't know if she's saying that she did this when she was younger, and so now she's trying to say to do it the right way. I'm not sure about that. But what she said about not just because he cute. There's a lot of women who talk about, oh yeah, we'll have pretty babies. I don't mind having a baby with him. Oh, we'll have cute babies. Or he got light eyes. I want my baby to have light eyes. Let me stay with him. It is extremely important that you vet your spouse accordingly, whether you are a male or female. You need to know who you're with. You need to know their childhood traumas. You need to know their problems. You need to know the things that are passed down from generation to generation, because a lot of people just think about like physical ailments and stuff like that, but there's also mental health ailments that pass down also. And you trying to figure out how you can be there and support your child, and you don't even know how or what ways to be of assistance to your child, because you don't know that person that you procreated with well enough to realize this is something that they've been dealing with too. Or their daddy, or their mama, or their grandparent. So vetting is extremely important. But in my humble opinion, it doesn't mean that everybody got it right. There's no perfect situation. Yes, if you're married, it doesn't solidify that that person's going to be with you forever. However, I strongly support the message of marry before you carry. Strongly support it. Because if you have that level of commitment already, you can guarantee that at least this person was already committing to you without any other factor. So now if you decide to have a child, it's going to be possibly welcomed instead of bringing a child into the world that somebody else didn't even want to be a part of. And you know that, but you still want to do it selfishly because you want to have a child yourself, whether this person wants them or not, because that's going to affect the child later on. But I want to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions on this video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you.